Hello again, traders. Right, yet again we've got take two of a video because I got interrupted. So we've got a few things on this chart that wouldn't have been here if it was a virgin take one, as it were. So basically gold went up because of GBP interest rates announcements at midday today, and then I had to go out, and gold was up here when I went out, and gold was down here when I got back in, and I've been scalping it up, and various other bits and pieces as well. Really loving this multi-time frame RSI that Onesies put together for us. Loving the other multi-time frame traditional RSI histo that Dinesh has done for us as well. And as always, got to mention Aaron Intrepid Noodle on Twitter, the fantastic 3CR Indy. So that's all those bits out of the way. As usual, we've got the Dragon on here, Sonic R Dragon. I love it, and that really, you need to look into that on the Forex Factory Sonic R thread to see how it combines, how it ties in with everything we do. But back to this inverse divergence with momentum, multi-time frame momentum analysis that I am absolutely loving. So as you can see, we've got a lower low making a higher low on the TMA slope, and I should mention that the TMA slope knocks the spots off of almost everything I've tested with regards divergence. It's also a really good additional indicator, as I mentioned in the previous public video I made today. You know, it's belt braces and double belt and braces, if you like, when you want to confirm your entries using all these other momentum indicators that I use. So in particular this thing too now. So we've had this massive move up, and we know why, the news. We've had this massive move down while I was out, and we know why that is, because again, as a result of them faking in the longs and basically messing with a lot of people's heads on gold. But I'm here, I'm looking at divergence. Should I be looking for longs, or should I consider a possible short? Well, I didn't want to go long at all really, but it presented a perfect opportunity for me to test my new inverse divergence trading method, if you like, and it was so good that I just had to make a video about it. So here we are. Is it going to go long? I'm not thinking it will do, but we don't have to think about it. We just have to look at all of our indicators, momentum indicators. This is absolutely no reason to go long. As you know, I love these black empty areas of sideways, empty area of sideways, that little block there. And then finally it turns down with the 3CR and all the momentum indicators. Everything's right, bust, pull back, break and close down. So we've got tick, 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 and clearly tick, 3CR there. There's a trend involved there as well. That's old support, which happens to coincide with the Asian session high, acting as new resistance here. So we've got all of these things telling us we should be going short at that point. But what do I want to look for here? Well, I just want to look for any buying failing. And all I had to do, I was here watching this pullback here, watching my multi-time frame indicators, and seeing how I could best get involved with maximum confidence with this entry here. So basically, as price is pulling up, what I've done is set, it was on that 3CR level there actually, I set an alert below the price. So Katie mentioned on Twitter about alerts. This is how, I was wondering whether you just couldn't set the alert or you didn't have the patience to wait for it. But just setting the alert is right click your charts, click alert, and you will see it there. And that's do it below the price. So I did it around about that. Let's zoom in now. Around about that level where the 3CR was. There. Just a little bit above it. So I'm ready and raring to go. And set it on M1. Because you're watching this pulling up. You don't want to miss the boat, as it were. So drop down to M1. And as you can see now, that was the level of interest. This was my alert telling me to get ready for it. Well, what happened was I got distracted by a visitor, and I actually missed my entry and got a little bit of a late entry. But if we go back to M5, so you can see this is, price just didn't look back. So that's how I'm using inverse divergence. If price isn't going to go up, even though we've got divergence, and I've explained that everything's got to look right and it didn't, then you have got a pretty good indication that it is going to crash, if you like. I wanted to blow that up a bit. I don't think that's yeah. And this move is massive. This whole move to that down point is was something like 40 pips. Let's take it from that blue line down to there. It was 57 pips, actually 58 pips. So I got about 15, bit more actually, about 16, and closed 99% or 98% of the order. I like to do that. I'm a scalper. I'm used to taking 5 pips, then 6 pips, then stretching it a bit on gold for 8 or 9 pips, and now getting a lot more going on. And for target, where I expected this to go to, I was on H1, and I've got this area down here. So this would be what I would consider a possible bounce area. There, all of that 3CR, this, that and the other. So, but remember, this is a massive move down in a straight line, so I'm not going to get greedy and go for that. I don't like holding trades, but the reason I love this so much, all this multi-time frame stuff, look at this. That's red, that bar there on H1 at it's now 1739. It was about 1615, something like that, 1630 when I got back to my charts, and we got massive signals telling us we should consider shorts. There was no way this was going to go long. That was roughly where we were on the hour. Now, no, that's 3 o'clock. That was where I was on the let's have a look. 18, 14, yeah, 16. So it's roughly there on the 30-minute chart. Next door's dog annoying me. So we could clearly see H1, no way you wanted to go long on that. And then M30, again, it had closed prior to me coming back to the charts with massive momentum, massive momentum, massive momentum growing. So M15, double check that. So we've got all the multi-time frame momentum going on as well, telling us that any pullback is just going to be a minor jobby. So at this point here, I hadn't got, remember we hadn't got that bar, so there's no divergence whatsoever going on with the TMA. Another reason to be really keen on the shorts. Same here, massive M15 bust, pullback, break and close. So no divergence, again good reason to be considering these as little pullbacks. Again here, look, just massive momentum, pullback, massive move. That's massive, that move. So we go on. Let's zoom out a little bit now. So here we are. This is exactly where I was considering things. So we can see there once again we're back to M5. We've got that divergence. I'm not at all impressed after looking at the multi-time frame momentum that this would even consider going long. So as I say, I put my M1 alert on there on the 5-minute 3CR level. you don't even have to wait for a 3CR on that, because there isn't actually a 3CR to the long side. But and you know, that was an old rule from years ago. But watching M1, we can see we've got the pullback, nicely pulled back there, but no interest whatsoever with going long. And as you can see, we got the alert. It would have kicked off roughly at my level there, got me interested. As it broke that 3CR level, this blue line here, you can see what happened. Price absolutely collapsed, and as I say, that is a massive move. So that, hopefully, I haven't missed anything, because the take one would have been better. But as you can see, next to no drawdown, the levels, if we zoom out, all of that support there clearly broken by price here. It just wanted to go down, and as I explained, the potential target area, but 50-60 pips at this time of day for a scalper that likes 5, 6, 7, 10 pips, that is an absolute dream. So hopefully I've covered how I like this new multi-time frame RSI, even though we've got a slight problem with the delay in the bars closing, but it still works perfectly in you know, in the older bars. They give you a really good impression of what's going on and has been happening. This is a slight problem, but with Dinesh's indicator we're covered on that score, and then we've got the TMA for a bonus. And as you can see, the TMA is telling us we should really be shorting there. We've even got a bust, pullback, break and close on the TMA, which I don't really talk about or notice much, but it's there, and that's the 1 minute RSI histo. So hopefully I've covered everything I wanted to cover in the first video, but it's all about, if it ain't going one way, it's going to go the other, and we've got all these reasons why it should continue. And this is just a continuation inverse divergence video that I hope you could incorporate with any method you trade to get those nice slam dunk trades. This one was just so lovely. This is a brilliant strategy on its own, to be honest with you, for the end of day. You know, if it ain't going up, it's going down, it's continuing. Continuation inverse divergence strategy, and it still wants to go. But don't get greedy. There's no need to get greedy. You know, give your time. Just as I say on the Twitter feed, you know, plan your trades, draw your plan, set your alerts, and relax. And that's exactly what I did on this. Set my alert, got distracted, late entry, but it still did what I expected it to. So thanks for watching. Have a great Thursday evening.